Y'all, this video you are going to want to send out. It is going to make you smile ear to ear, and if it doesn't, check your pulse. You might actually be clinically dead because the far left progressives of the Young Turks have just excoriated Gavin Newsom. They are failing the purity test, and that cannot be allowed on today's modern left in America, and we are going to explore the entire thing right now. Everything will be linked in the description box below, including the timestamps, because I bring all the receipts and everything I show you. And guys, we are going to have one hell of a time while we save the country, doing two things at once. You guys can follow me at Braden LOA, and of course hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on if you are down with the mission. You want to be part of changing the course of American history. All right, let's get into this, guys. I am not going to bury the lead. You deserve better on a Friday, so we're going to dive straight in. All right, little primer. If you're not familiar, the Young Turks is a far-left progressive group. They make the Democrats stand in the middle, grab binoculars, and look at them from over there. That's how far left they are, okay? Now, what I'm going to show you right now can only really be described as Gavin Newsom, A, doing absolutely horrible in an interview, which is by itself hilarious, the body language, which we're going to get to that, but then more importantly, this is failing purity test. If you are not pure enough for today's modern left, then you are not welcome to be into it. This is the whole point. They are doing the opposite of big tent politics. They're doing small tent politics, getting smaller and smaller and smaller. This is a perfect example, but there's no reason I can't have a little bit of fun together with you while we watch the implosion. All right, here we go. Listen to this. I've got timestamps. This one is 0 to 33 seconds. Let's get it.
I will not vote for a candidate that takes $1 from AIPAC.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I haven't thought about AIPAC. And it's interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC in years.
Is it interesting? Okay, that was California Governor Gavin Newsom malfunctioning as he was being asked a question that he didn't expect and didn't really seem prepared to answer. Now, Newsom malfunctioned and said the word interesting a total of 8 times after he was confronted on the topic of AIPAC and the Israel lobby. Just to give you.
Now, this is really interesting to me. It's fascinating that even after the war is over, by the way, Trump negotiated the whole thing, so the left are still trying to process that. So the war is now over, but it's still a litmus test issue on the left. The left is not going to allow the Democrats to get away from it. The Democrats want to get away from it as much as they can. This is more of that tiger by the tail woke versus Democrat situation I've been telling you guys about. We're going to continue more, but the dude said interesting 8 times in like 14 seconds. That's not good. That's not good at all. That means you don't know what you're talking about or you're uncomfortable. But let's continue because like I said, guys, I'm not going to waste your time. I never will. I try to do my very best to give you the best up-to-date information, timestamp it, link it, do all the things so we can save this country together. But let's go to the next one. 1 minute, 10 seconds through 2:02. Let's take it away. Oh, Anna, get it.
AIPAC money, you're going to be asked about it. And try to do better than what we're about to hear from Gavin Newsom.
I will not vote for a candidate that takes $1 from AIPAC.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I haven't thought about AIPAC. And it's interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC in years, which is interesting. Why did I say that? Not relevant to my day-to-day life.
Okay.
Which is just interesting.
Listen,
it's interesting you say that. JPAC perhaps more, but AIPAC less and less.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is just interesting.
What's interesting about it?
That it's just interesting as you bring up AIPAC that it hasn't been part of. I'm just reflecting quite openly and honestly.
Okay, I love this so much for so many different reasons. So obviously Newsom sounds idiotic, but
8 times. I love the little edits they did there with the little ding, 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 ding. Really drives home the point. Guys, if you are a politician or you're on the left and you run into a bear trap, which is what just happened. That's what you're literally watching a Democrat start to go into a complete and total defensive posture because it's just interesting. It's interesting. It's really, really interesting. And then the guy even goes, so why is it interesting? Because it's interesting. Oh my God. Keep going, more of this. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing, you're going to see some very interesting body language throughout this entire interview, but one of the biggest tells that you've got is when he proclaims that I'm just trying to be open and honest. Well, what that means is you're trying to deflect away from the conversation that you're having. You have to inject on what you desire for the person to perceive by saying it. That is a very typical communication style tactic. You're not feeling it, so I'm going to introduce it so then you can adopt that feeling. That's what he's trying to do. He is a talented manipulator, but in this one, he sucked. and he sucked hard. But that's not it. We're going to go to this next one. This next clip is a little bit longer, but again, this is all tying into the purity test of the left, holding it against the Democrats. That's the entire point. The purity test is why they have been failing. Let's keep on going. Purity test, litmus test, they all suck. All right, this one is at 3:03. Let's scoot it over here. Here we go. You're going to enjoy this one too.
Now, a few minutes earlier, Lathan had asked Newsom if he was in favor of halting all military assistance to Israel. And let's see how that went.
Are you in favor of halting military assistance to Israel?
I mean, the timing's a curious one when the precipice of a phase 1 deal that was announced today and a ceasefire.
Even if this is over.
But I get it.
Yeah.
So look, no, I'm not prepared to say that I would support a blanket exemption for military support of Israel. That said, I've been very vocal in my opposition to Bibi Netanyahu. Said he doubled down on stupid on Meet the Press like a year ago. I'm sitting here on your behalf, you're a taxpayer, as the only governor of the United States that sent a field hospital to Gaza and got it in through a third-party country and is disgusted by what's happened in Gaza as a human being, as a father, see these children, and how this war has been perpetuated by Bibi Netanyahu. I also have deep respect for the right of the state of Israel to exist and defend itself.
Okay, he seems defensive, if you ask me.
All right, so Anna did pick up on defensive nature, and of course, I cannot wait to hear your comments on this one. But there's something else that Anna's not really telling you right now, and she may have missed it, and I'm not throwing shade. I'm just telling you I picked it up. When you see what Gavin Newsom just did, he just tried to walk a tightrope, right? He just tried to do the, it's horrible what Israel did in Gaza, where I'm going to virtue signal the shit out of you right now and say how many state-funded hospitals and this, that, and the other, and I'm opposed, and I'm aghast, and I'm just disgusted. Inject emotion. And then he's going to relate it back to himself to find common ground. I'm a father as a human, right? He does all of these things. He is a very talented manipulator and communicator. I will not take that away from him. But he is failing the litmus test of the far left woke ideology. The far left woke ideology still has a very large stay in the Democrat process on the Democrat Party side. So if Gavin Newsom wants this Democrat DNC ticket, he's got to appease the far left wokies. And you're going to see this for the next year. I guarantee it. And definitely for the next 3. As the presidential comes into it. But that's the whole point. He's got to appease this tiger that they have by the tail, because if it doesn't, it's going to eat him in the face, which is what you're watching right now. The failure of a virtue signal is extremely expensive for a Democrat. You better hit all those boxes. You better check all those boxes. You better include every single person. You better make some land acknowledgments before you talk anywhere. This is why no one likes them. And they're doing it to themselves. They cannot escape it. And I'm so freaking here for it, because this next one, she's going to openly mock his body language. This is the Easter egg you've been waiting for. This one's a little bit longer. From 4:17 from 4:17 to 6:02. Let's get it. 4:17. Take it away, Anna. Let's wrap it up.
Me. And look, Lathan did follow up with a pretty good point. So if Newsom hates Netanyahu so much, then why would he want to... why wouldn't he want to stop sending Netanyahu money, military aid? Let's see how he answered that.
I guess the question is, if there's an admission or an understanding that the prime minister of a country is acting in a way that's either irresponsible, callous, or inhumane, why would we continue to support that country?
Well, I think that's the executive's role to leverage that. We do that a lot. I mean, that's part of the game of leverage. But to eliminate support across the board is something, to me, is a bridge too far. Conditioning in a thoughtful way with a flexibility of criteria, flexibility with conditions that are changing on an hourly or daily basis or weekly basis as it relates to not just what's happening in Gaza, but what's happening in Lebanon, what's happening in Iran, what's happening in Syria and other parts of the Middle East is where I think you have to be careful. And I just don't think there's a clean way of answering that without the nuance that I think it deserves.
Well, there you have the governor of California competing with Kamala Harris in the word salad Olympics. What was that? What was that? Let me just list off a bunch of other Middle Eastern countries and talk about leverage and then do the little weird like shoulder shimmy. Like, you are not guided by values or principles. It is very.
Thank you, Anna. And now the culmination of my entire point. Guys, the left has a very serious problem. The Democrats in the middle have a very serious problem. You get to benefit from what I'm about to tell you and reinforce. I'm going to be reinforcing it for the next 1.5 to 3 years because this is not going away. Gavin Newsom and any other politician that's going to want to have to try to court the far left and the Democrat and walk that tightrope is going to get their hand caught in a cookie jar. At some point, it doesn't matter. The virtue signal failing, that expense and that cost is hella steep. Because you're going to appease the far left. And by the way, you better appease the money and the donors in the Democrat Party too. Those two things are getting further and further apart. So as I've told you, they're going to destroy themselves. The virtue signaling, the litmus test, the woke versus the Democrat, all of this is happening in real time. And all the while, you are capitalizing. And that is why we're doing what we're doing. I hope I landed this plane. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.